So it's 6:30.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The agenda meeting of the combined agenda and regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council is called to order on this date of February 7th, 2022. Would we all please rise to salute our flag? I pledge
Allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have the roll call, please.
Councilman Charles DePiero,
Here.
Councilwoman Elizabeth Schneider,
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel,
Here.
Council Vice President Terrence Van Zura,
Here.
Council President Cohen.
Here.
Additionally, on the dais tonight, we have Mayor Stephen DeLina,
Count me in.
Business Administrator Alan Weinberg,
Here.
Township Attorney Lou Raynone,
Present.
Township Engineer Mark Razumowitz,
I'm here.
Director of Utility Department Joe Stroin,
Here.
and the Chief of Police, Chief Bienes.
Present.
Please read the Sunshine Law into our records.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1, posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal building on December 29th, 2021, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2, printed in the Home News Tribune and noticed to the Cranberry Press on December 30th, 2021. 3, posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the council president.
Thank you. Would you please read the proclamations, please, that we have this evening?
Yes. School Board Recognition Month is January 2022. American Heart Month is February 2022. St. James Knights of Columbus, number 6336. It's their 50th anniversary on February 5th, 2022. And Justine Gribben is 103 years old. Her birthday celebration, which was will be February 12th, 2022.
Item 6, please.
Ordinances for second reading at the February 7th, 2022 regular meeting. Ordinance O-1-2022-001, Supervisory Personnel 2022 Salary and Wage Ordinance for the Monroe Township, Middlesex County. O-1-2022-002 is refunding bond ordinance of the Monroe Township of the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, providing for the refunding for all or a portion of certain water and sewer utility bonds, Series 2015 of the Township, appropriating $24 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance by the Township of water and sewer utility bonds, federally taxable, in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $24 million for financing the cost thereof. O-1-2022-003, which is ordinance amending Chapter 39 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Fees.
Thank you. The ordinances for introduction, please. We have 1, 2, 3, 5 of them.
Yes. O-2-2022-004, ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, County of Middlesex, entitled Administration of Government, specifically Section 50 entitled Division of Police. O-2-2022-005, ordinance amending Chapter 116 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, entitled Towing and Storing of Vehicles. O-2-2022-006 is bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $3,710,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,737,120 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. 02-2022-007, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $865,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $823,700 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. Ordinance 02-2022-008 is ordinance authorizing the execution and recording of a permanent easement agreement to JCP&L and Verizon in connection with the installment of electrical equipment and poles on the property known as 485 Spotswood Englishtown Road, Block 77.01, Lot 3.01 in Monroe, New Jersey.
Thank you. Item 8, ladies and gentlemen of the council, is the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the February 7th regular meeting, R2 2022-050 through R2 2022-079. Are there any resolutions that members of the council would like removed from the consent agenda? If so, please let us know now.
I have a few.
Okay, yes, please.
I'll just give you the last three numbers, if that's okay.
That is
Sure.
fine. Yes,
051, 054, 058, 076.
thank you. Any other members of the council
You're
have
welcome.
resolutions they would like removed at this point? Stein? No. We will now open for public comments, please. Remember, it's limited to the agenda items only, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open the public comment section of the agenda meeting, please? Moved by Councilwoman Schneider. Second on that,
Second.
please.
Second.
Second on Council Vice President Van Zura. All in
That was
favor?
actually.
That was Councilman DePiero.
Oh, I'm sorry,
okay.
Mr.
If you want to
DePiero.
give me a promotion with the pay, I'll take
You
it.
know what the heck, you took it, right? Okay, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We are now open for public comments. Do we have anyone waiting to address us now, please?
Let me look. Yes, we do have a hand up, and it's Prakash Parab.
Yes. Dr. Parab, please unmute yourself. Okay,
Oh, okay.
There he
Can
is.
you?
there you are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, President Cohen, Mayor Steve Dalina, and council members and staff. I have just resolution R2 202066. I have a statement followed by some question. This is a sodium hypochlorite solution. Purchasing cost is about $47,500 per year. Sodium hypochlorite solution is used in hospitals as well as sprayed on vegetables in grocery stores as a disinfectant. It is safe. One can buy the unit to produce sodium hypochlorite solution in-house, means our township, for $5,000 to $7,000. These units are currently used in hospitals. Also, small units, they are available on Amazon to buy in-house for the house if they want to produce a sodium hypochlorite solution. And these units, what they need is just salt and water mix and electrolysis, and continuously you can produce the solution. So if you want to buy these units, you can buy 4 to 6 units for the township and will cost around $20,000. And if they are very good, they can survive for 5 to 10, more to 7 to 10 years. The units are good. And if you buy the unit, and you will have a cost savings of, in 5 years, about $217,000. In 10 years, about $500,000. So I request the council to consider this. And if, my request is President Cohen, to whom I can send this information, all the information which is available.
You are
And-
certainly welcome to send that information to Mr. Weinberg, who will direct it within the department to the appropriate officials that need to have it. All right, that is no problem to do. Mr. Weinberg, is that amenable to you?
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks,
good.
Council President. It would actually go to Joe Stroin,
Well,
but
yes,
you're happy to
want-
work through me if you'd like.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
And-
I will send the information to you all
Thank
and
you.
please consider. Thank you very much.
thank you for your information, please, and we look forward to receiving it. Is anyone else waiting to make a comment to the council?
Council President, we have Tim Eso with his hand up.
Yes, please, sir. Mr. Esso?
I'm sorry, Eso.
Esso? He's not here yet on my screen.
Yeah, here he comes.
There he is. Your name, please unmute yourself, sir, and your name and address for the record.
Tim Esso, 2 Allison Court. Looking at resolution number R22022-071, professional services from Center State Engineering
Yes,
regarding the 2022 Veterans Park restoration improvements. That's construction as well, correct? That's just not for the, I should say, clerical or engineering work they're doing. It's also to build it.
Mr. Weinberg, you wish to respond to that, please?
Sure. Yeah, this is for design, bidding, and construction management of the bathrooms and storage area at the project.
How big is that area, Mr. Weinberg, that's being done?
Can I answer that, Council
No,
President?
please continue.
Sure. It would be, I would be somewhat similar to the projects that we did at the Danny Ryan Field and at the soccer complex.
Okay, so for $90,000, you're saying that does not include a piece of lumber, a brick, a block, mortar, nothing. That just is for the services that are the township taxpayer paid for and $90,000 just to come up with this plan?
If I may answer, Council President.
Please
Thank you.
continue.
Yes, it has to be designed. An architect has to design it. It has to be, the site work has to be done. And then it obviously has to be bid, and then it has to have construction inspection. It's like sort of, building a home. It's not just going to happen unless somebody designs it and construction manages it and bids it out. So this is, I'm guessing, about 13% of the cost of the project, which seems just about right and reasonable for such a project.
Those specs open to the public?
Council
Council
President?
President.
Yes, please, I'm not,
I would anticipate that the building plans, when complete, would be a public document, building plans. Absolutely.
Okay, and we would go just like an Oprah that information?
Council President, if I may, I believe
Yes,
when they're
please
done, I
complete your answer,
believe
sir.
they would be operable unless the attorney tells me otherwise, but they're just documents on the building and how to build the site plan and things like that, just like any other building in town, I would think.
And how many bids went out for this project? How many people bid on this project, or companies, I should say?
Council President, here,
haven't,
direct Allen.
please.
Sorry, yeah, well, we haven't gone out for the construction bid yet. But as you know, we, pre-qualified Center State Engineering to do our engineering, some of our engineering work in town. And they have a lot of history and understanding of the park. They were involved in the first 2 phases of the Veterans Park. So
We
they
followed
are.
our
the best
usual and
candidate.
customary practice of
Yeah, I'm aware of their
pre-qualification,
history.
correct? Thank you.
Okay, so once the building part of this is done, it will be an operable issue, I'm assuming, correct, Mr. Weimer? Or to the chair?
Yeah, Council President,
Yes,
I
please.
I can't see why the building plans wouldn't be public.
Wouldn't
There's
be
nothing
public
secret
documents and
about them.
available to the public to look at.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we have anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Yes, Council President, we have Lucille Panos.
She's not on my screen yet, Shanyas. She's not over yet.
1 second. IT
Sure.
is bringing her over.
Oh, okay. Ms. Panos, you want to unmute yourself, please? There you
Yes,
go.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Of course I can, yes.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, I want to thank the clerk's office or whoever updated the website. I had sent in some suggestions last week and most of them were improvised. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, but excuse me, please, your name and address for our record.
Lucio Panos, 1208C.
Thank you. Okay, now your question, please.
Okay. Ordinance number 2022-005. I see it's an increase in the towing and storing fees. Does any of that trickle down to the tow truck drivers? Because I'm thinking with the price of gas that has gone up in the last year, what you call it, it's only $1, but do the tow truck drivers actually get a part of that? And I would hope so. My second question is 0774, that water tower maintenance. What exactly repairs are being done for $108,000? And painting.
Would you repeat the number of the second ordinance you have a question about? I didn't hear it clearly.
2022-074.
074, thank you. Mr. Weinberg, is that yours too?
Yep, I'll be happy to answer the first one and turn the second one over to Joe. On the first one, I think it's just for the standard title fee change. They changed it from $2 to $3 to the state. So we're just updating in accordance with what the state is. And on the second one, Joe, if you can talk to that, please.
Thank you. Mr. Strine.
Thank you, Council President. Yes, the improvements that are being done are necessary prior to the tank actually being painted. The tank is going to be painted in the fall after the peak summer season. It's a 3.5 million gallon standpipe, and this work will be necessary to be done in conjunction with the Middlesex County OEM communications network, where we're going to be raising all of the microwave dishes and antennas, and our local police utilizes that OEM system as well. But what we're going to do is take the opportunity to put in new manways to allow for circulation. We're going to have modifications to the drain pipe. We're going to be doing some things to the safety ladders to make sure that when the tank is painted, we don't have to, do any of those things. We'll just be able to paint the tank and put it back into service.
Thank you very much. I was glad it wasn't like a leak.
No.
I want to go back to the towing. Is there a minimum that the tow truck drivers get? And when was the last time it was increased?
Please.
I don't know, the clerk may be able to answer this. I feel like we may have just recently updated this, but just defer to the clerk. I don't have it memorized, the reimbursement rates.
It's a whole, excuse me, Council President, it's a whole,
Please.
it's a whole schedule of fees. So I wouldn't know a particular fee, but this fee that we're changing tonight is because the motor vehicle changed the amount of a title amount. If you'd want the fees on the schedule, that is on chapter 116 in the code, which is online, but if you'd like, I could always send it to you as well, Ms. Panos.
Thank you very much. I just,
You're most welcome.
with the price of gas, I'm hoping that these people.
We noticed the price of gas, I think. Yes.
Horrible.
Thank you very much.
You're
welcome.
Anyone else waiting to speak with us? No, may I then entertain a motion to close the public comment section?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. May I have a motion to adjourn our agenda meeting, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Council Vice President. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. DePiero. I didn't miss it. May we have a roll call vote on that, please?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. We have adjourned the agenda meeting at the time of 10 to 7. Is that quite correct? That
Yep,
meeting is adjourned.
6:50.
Like to take this, I'd like to call the regular meeting to order at, tell me my time.
6:50 PM.
May I have a motion to do so?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
May we have a roll call on opening this meeting, please?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, may I have a motion to approve the payment of claims per the run date of February 1st, 2022?
So
so moved,
Thank you. Second on that
Second.
motion. Thanks. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented? December 24th, 2021, the emergency special meeting. December 27th, 2021, the combined agenda and regular meeting. January 5th, 2022, combined reorganization and agenda regular meeting. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilwoman Schneider. Second on
Second.
that, please. Thank
Second.
you. May I have a roll call?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
I'm going to abstain on December 24th and December 27th, and yes for January 5th.
Thank you. Efficiently done. I appreciate that. Yes,
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
yes. Will we proceed to the ordinances for the second reading?
Thank you.
Ordinance number 401-2022-001. And that is the supervisory personnel 2022 salary and wage ordinance for Monroe Township, Middlesex County. May I have a motion to open a public hearing on that ordinance, please? So moved by Councilwoman Schneider. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Siegel. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Public hearing on this ordinance is now open. We have anyone wishing to speak with us?
Council President, I have no hands up at this moment.
Hearing and seeing no hands, I'm going to entertain a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-001? Motion, please.
so moved,
So moved. Second.
One of us.
Second.
Thank you very much. Do we have a roll call?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the next ordinance?
No problem.
Because you saw me, I knew that.
I know,
yes.
I knew you were going to ask me to. 01-2022-002, refunding bond ordinance of the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, providing for the refunding of all or a portion of certain water and sewer utility bonds, Series 2015 of the Township, appropriating 24 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance by the Township of water and sewer utility bonds federally taxable in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding 24 million for financing the cost thereof.
Thank you for that. Can we have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Any opposed? Public hearing is open. We have anyone waiting to speak with us on this?
Council President, I do not see any hands up at this time.
Therefore, hearing and seeing none, we entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
so moved,
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Any opposed? No. I'd like a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-002, please.
So
so
moved.
moved,
Thank you. And the second is by Councilwoman Schneider. Appreciated that. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, thank you. Would you please, the last ordinance is 01-2022-003.
Ordinance amending Chapter 39 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Fees.
Thank you. Public hearing, I need a motion to open it.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Do we have anyone waiting to speak with us regarding this ordinance? Hearing none, a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Therefore, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 01-2022-003, please? Motion.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, thank you very much. 5, would you,
Yeah. and I-
thank
yeah.
you so much.
Ordinances for introduction. 2022-004. Ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, County of Middlesex, entitled Administration of Government, specifically Section 50 entitled Division of Police.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call on this ordinance that we are introducing, please?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, thank you for all the ayes, folks. We move to the next one. Will the clerk please read?
2022-005. Ordinance amending Chapter 116 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Towing and Storage of Vehicles.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion.
Oh, good. Thanks so much. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Siegel. May we have the roll call vote?
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, the next motion, please.
The next ordinance is 2022-006. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $3,710,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,737,120 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Motion,
Council President, I have a few questions.
certainly. Mr.
Councilman DePiero.
Councilman DePiero, your questions, please.
Sure. When I read through, I didn't understand. It said including the aggregate sum of
I'm sorry,
95.
it must be my headphones. You didn't understand. Go ahead.
It said including the sum of 95,400 as the several down payments for improvements. What exactly does that mean?
Mr. Weinberg, thank you.
So, and the council, our attorney will correct me if I'm wrong, on items that are not part of state grants, and we have state grants in here, you're required to put 5% down and bond the rest. So the 5% down is listed in there, as the 5% down. And that comes from the capital improvement fund, which is in our budget. So
Thank you.
if it's,
Mr.
if it's not a
Reno,
grant mutual aid, you got to put 5% down.
Right, because I like the way, it shows the 3,710,000. That's our estimated cost, and we're bonding for almost $1 million less, as our business administrator talked about the grants. I just had the question about the down payment, and you cleared that up. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Any other questions regarding this? Hearing none, may I have that motion that I requested?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you so much. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Next one, please.
2022-007, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $865,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $823,700 bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost, part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thanks so much. May I have a second on that?
Second,
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
yes,
Council Vice President Van Zura,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Thank you very much. That motion, of course, as the others is carried. Would you like to do the next ordinance, please?
Certainly. 2022-008, ordinance authorizing the execution and recording of a permanent easement agreement to JCP&L and Verizon in connection with the installation of electrical equipment and poles on the property known as 485 Spotswood Englishtown Road, Block 77.01, Lot 3.01 in Monroe, New Jersey.
Thank you. Motion.
Council President, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Councilman DePiero.
When you read through this, it says Verizon refund up to $58,529.86. Did we pay anything to Verizon?
Mr. Weinberg, it looks like it's your turn again.
Yep, I'll have Joe answer that. There might be
Mr.
the
Strine,
cash bond they
please.
put
Sorry,
down.
it's your
Yep.
turn.
Yes, thank you, Council President.
You're most welcome.
No, we haven't paid anything yet. That happens after the actual execution of the easement, Councilman. And then both JCP&L and Verizon will refund us based on a predetermined formula associated with the amount of electricity and phone service that we use over a 10-year period. And based on our calculations, the total amount that we pay for the easement will be recouped by this refund.
Okay, everything underground?
No, in this particular case, there'll be a combination based on the drawings of underground and over above ground because of the pole.
Any transformers on our site?
I don't believe there's any transformers on the well site at all, no.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Any further? All right, may I then have motion? Did we have our, please?
Yes, motion.
Yes, we have our motion?
No, we need a
No,
motion.
motion.
so
please.
moved.
Thank you.
Second,
Keep smiling at me, Council Vice President. May we have a second?
second,
Please, second, Councilman DePiero. May we have a roll call on that, please?
Councilman DePiero,
yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
yes,
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, thank you. We move to the resolutions. Would the clerk please read which resolutions have been removed from the consent agenda by number?
Certainly. Resolutions for consideration are R2 2022-050 through R2 2022-079, with the exception of resolutions 051, 054, 058, and 076.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
so moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you so much. We need a roll call on these two, I believe. Yes.
Yes. Councilman DePiero,
No,
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
yes,
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Now we need a motion to approve the resolutions removed from the consent agenda. Please reread those numbers.
Certainly. Those are resolutions 051, 054, 058, and 076.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion?
so moved.
Thank you. A second.
second,
Thank you. May we have a roll call on that, please?
I'm sorry, who seconded? Councilwoman
Rupa.
Siegel? Okay,
Councilwoman Siegel.
thank you. Councilman DePiero,
abstain,
Councilwoman Schneider,
Councilwoman?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
yes,
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all very much for the speedy nature of your
That's okay.
making motions, et cetera. I appreciated it a lot. and good answering of questions. I would like to have the administrator's report at this time, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Council
My
President.
pleasure.
First thing I want to do is thank DPW, MTUD, all our first responders, but particularly obviously DPW and MTUD for their work during the storm a little over a week ago. It was quite a large storm, quite a long storm, and was followed by some extremely cold weather that certainly made it difficult to plow. But all of our employees showed up. I think they did a really good job. They worked, on alternating shifts until the job got done. Appreciate all the residents' patience. So I just want to thank them. It was certainly some cold weather to be out there with. And I think they did a great job. So special thanks to our DPW and MTUD folks who are participating in that. We do have a refinancing bond on this agenda. As many of you may remember, last year we refinanced some of our bonds. It's sort of like refinancing your home mortgage. We have a fairly low amount of bonds out, which is really good for the town of this size. And last year we were able to save $2.3 million by refinancing some of our bonds over the course without adding any additional new bonds. And this year we could save another $700,000 if everything goes right as we move to close. It's a slightly newer issue that has a slightly lower rate, so there's not as much savings, but of course the minimum savings of 3% must be met as required by the Division of Local Government Services. So excited to work on that again, something that was important for the mayor and council. As was mentioned earlier by Councilman DePiero, we have almost $900,000 in state grants associated with the bonds that we're moving forward on, including grants for Spotswood Gravel Hill Road and South Middlesex. We've well more than doubled the amount of our local state aid for municipal aid, for local aid over the past 5 years, and that has also been a priority for the mayor and council. And it is nice to do, like was said earlier, 3.7 or so million in projects for $2.8 million in borrowing. We also have moved forward. We will be moving forward on paving, some significant paving this summer again. So focused on that as well. One of the items I wanted to bring up during my report were some of the recent auto thefts and auto break-ins and including a home break-in. And I did want to turn it over to the chief for a second to talk a little bit about that. I know that's certainly all on our minds and important, and him and his department do a great job. So Chief, if you could provide a little update on that, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Janice,
Thank you, Mr.
welcome, and
Member.
please, we look forward to your report.
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to start off by saying that I know that the residents have a concern. We all have concerns over the car burglaries and the thefts that have occurred recently. I put out a letter, and I'd like to start by definitely reiterating some of the points that I made in that letter, just to make sure that these crimes are not unique to our town, and they are happening throughout the entire state. They're happening from LBI all the way up to Bergen County. The events taking place are crimes of opportunity, and implementing simple steps from locking the car door, taking your keys inside, and lowering your garage door and locking the doors to your house will help to prevent these crimes. And I say one of the most important doors you want to lock would be the one from your garage into your house. If they get access to your garage, so be it, but if they don't get access to your house, then more the better. But a lot of people don't do that. I'm guilty of that sometimes myself. Every car that has been stolen in this town was left unlocked with the keys in them. I know it's kind of hard to believe, and this is a great town, but it's not the day anymore for leaving your stuff unlocked with your car keys in it. To let everybody know on a good point, and probably the only good point, all the cars that have been stolen have been recovered. We have increased the patrol, and we will continue to do so. However, one of Monroe's greatest assets, and everybody knows this, is our strong relationship with the community. And right now we're asking to draw on that support, to work together to help stop these crimes. Obviously, what I just said, and I'll reiterate once again, is remove everything of value from your car, including the garage door opener, and lock the car and take your keys inside. Keep your doors locked. And another big thing that people seem to ignore, we're open 24/7, 365 a year. There's always someone there. So if you hear something or if you feel something is suspicious, obviously call the Monroe Township Police. Call us immediately. We're here all the time. No one will, if you think it's suspicious, then it probably is. The non-emergency number, if everybody knows the non-emergency number, but it would be 521-0222. You can call at any time. And as always, if you don't remember that, you can call 911. It'll get you through us if there's an emergency. We're working with our neighboring towns and all the state and the state law enforcement to bring these criminals to justice and to try to deter, obviously, to try to deter these crimes to happen in the future. Right now, my detective bureau is putting together a community safety information session with the details to be posted on our website. This should be done within the next week. I had a little bout with COVID in the department, so we're dealing with that, but it should be up and on our social media outlets within a week. And once again, I can't stress anymore, please lock your doors, and especially that door going from the garage into the house. With that being said, I would like to turn it back over to you, Council President.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And a reminder, I have been told that some people leave an extra key to their house in their garage, just in case they've forgotten their own keys. So people might want to rethink that as well, including me. Mr. Weinberg, yes.
Yes, thanks, Council President. I'll continue my report. Thank you as well, Chief. I appreciate it.
Chief, very
You're
much.
welcome.
I do want to provide a brief update also on the BFI landfill. As Joe has mentioned in previous updates, and there's an update on our website as well. We awarded the contract to move forward on the construction of the pipe, and that is moving forward. I think Joe mentioned that we'll be having some test pits coming up this month, and then early next month, hopefully we'll be mobilizing and then under construction in March. We also will be going out to bid this week on the parallel pump station that'll be part of it, and expect and hope to award that next month as well. So that is also a priority for the administration, and I appreciate Joe pushing that as hard as he can. Despite some challenges sometimes with the pandemic and getting supplies, we are moving on an expedited schedule. And then lastly, Council President, the COVID numbers are starting to come down. As we have put in our previous updates, you can see them through the county and you can see them across the state. Certainly, we always all want to be going down faster. Certainly, the rate of transmission is lower and some of our peak numbers are down. I think this will be a good week to be able to see that as well. I do want to thank the mayor and council for their leadership on this, and also our employees who are really doing a great job of working through this. It's been the goal of the mayor and council to keep everything moving this winter, and we've kept going with our programs as safely as we can and kept every operation and building open and moving forward. And I know that's been a priority as we deal with that. So I thank you for that. And I thank our employees for their cooperation. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Weinberg. I would like Mr. Razumowitz, our engineer's report, please.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be quick. I just have an update for our affordable housing rehabilitation program, particularly in Rostmore with those units. Of the 21 units that are under construction, 2 have their certificates of approval, 4 are pending final inspection, and we still have 15 units that are about 90% complete. They're waiting on materials that have been back ordered, particularly like appliances and that sort of thing. But that's where we're at. So that's still moving along. That's my report.
Thank you very much. I'd like to go to our council reports. We'll begin with Councilwoman Siegel.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. I have been attending some of the commission meetings. I went to the Historic Preservation Commission meeting last month, and they are very busy. So I just want to share some of the items that they've been working on. They're doing a lot of community education outreach. They've embarked on a digitization project where they're preserving documents, and they're creating a website where they can unify and bring everything onto one platform. They also have a lot of information, which I encourage the community to go out and look on their website, on the Township page, under their page, and look at they have newsletters out there. They have a social media presence on Facebook and Instagram, but they have a lot of good information that they put out there. So I encourage everyone to go out, and they're also going to be doing some more presentations at the library in the near future. So make sure to look out for that. And I also attended the Environmental Committee meeting last week, I would think it was, and just some highlights from their meetings. The commission has also been doing a lot of work, and they are going to be rolling out some education programs at the library over the next couple months. on topics such as native plants, single-use plastic bags, and the importance of pollinators. So there'll be some more information coming out about that. And they have set a date for their stream cleanup event that they host. It's going to be on April 23rd at the community garden adjacent to the Millstone River. And the commission is also starting to talk about the Green Fair, and they're hoping to be able to do the event in person this year in the fall. And they're also working on, in conjunction with the Green Team, working on the Sustainable Jersey initiatives and actions that will certify the township at silver level again. So I encourage community members again to check out the different web pages that exist and just see some of the information and the hard work that the commissions are working on. They're very dedicated to what they're doing. So that's my report.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Schneider, please, your report.
Can I just preface what Mark said about Rostmore?
I know you did. That's right.
Cross your fingers. I've only been out of my house 6 months. I think I'll be able to be in it this Friday. So it's been a nightmare, but I'll be home hopefully Friday night in my own bed. I have a great son and daughter-in-law, but I think it's time for me to be back in Rostmore. But I'm going to report on the Commission on Aging. I just think it's fantastic the job they do. I'll just give you some of the figures. Like social services in December, they serviced over 208 people. Transportation in December, 222. Medical transport, 262. Princeton Shuttle, 137. Freehold, 150. In town, 30. I keep telling people it's not just the building, it's amazing what our employees do. The food pantry for the Rostmore flood victims, they were able to help and they ended it in December. But if anybody needs help, please let the food pantry know. Etch Farms, they donated 43 dozen fresh eggs to the food pantry. I applaud them. There was over this year turkeys for some reason at Christmas time, because we didn't have the demand we had. We donated it to what they call Alice's Food Pantry in Spotswood, New Jersey. So I think that's wonderful that we shared. I think some of the programs are phenomenal that they offer. I think like they have carbo blasts, they have gentle stress, they have ballroom dancing, yogurt. So I think there's something for everybody. And in the social services, they have counseling, bereavement, caregiving, grants for screening, support groups, legal aids, they refer them. And I said, it's just remarkable what is done there. I'm also on the Human Relations Commission, and we started the spotlight on social media. Our last two were for the New Year, the Chinese New Year, and Black History. And they are receiving very positive feedback of what we did. We're coordinating the upcoming visual and writing contest for our students, along with the reaching out to the schools for their nomination, because we let the teachers do that. It's for the Good Charter Education Awards, and we will present them at the May Council meeting. That's my report, Council President.
Thank you very much. Councilman DePiero, please.
Thank you.
Hi.
Okay, first I want to start off to say my condolences to a former councilwoman, Joanne Conley. I lost her mom, who lived a long life of 104 years old, and was, in Florida. But I just wanted to give our condolences to former Councilwoman Joanne Conley, and also a teacher in Monroe for many years. So I just wanted to say that to her and her family. I wanted to ask the chief, if I could,
please. Yes, sir.
The questions that I've got from our residents and mainly across the town, but especially Ward 3, was the response time, that when someone calls in 911 and how long it takes for our police officers to be dispatched from the call, and if there a response time for them to make it to the subject property.
Chief, would you?
Council President,
Yes, please.
Councilman, as swiftly and safely as possible.
So it's like there's no times, like I know with the fire, we always have eight minutes is our guide that we go by with OSHA and everything. It's 8 minutes, but you guys just do it. There's no really time frame.
As swiftly as safely as possible. But if my officer doesn't get there, if he gets into an accident, then he's no good. As swiftly as safely as possible.
Okay. And then the only other thing that I got a lot of criticism from was that we didn't send any nixles out. There wasn't an awareness to our residents. And I didn't want to give the misinformation on any ongoing investigations, but I did run into 2 of the homeowners that had people break into their homes. And, you know, they were talking to me about what happened. And I said, I really couldn't comment because it's under investigation and our police department will handle it. They do a fine job and we want that to continue. Also, I'm asking for is a little bit more awareness to our residents. As our chief said, lock your doors, take your keys out, lock your door in the garage. A lot of people are getting cameras and a lot of people are buying alarms in addition to that. So we might want to do more awareness. As I know Council President and Vice Council President, we went to the high school when Parkland had the shootings, and they brought people in to talk to the students and talk to the residents, and it was very helpful. So that's the only comment that I could make. And we trust our police department to do to protect us. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Councilman,
Yes.
can I answer
Sure.
real quick?
Yes, please,
Sure.
Chief. I knew you wished. to-
Councilman, I didn't want to interrupt him and he can continue afterwards. We do have a registry for the cameras. You say most people are getting cameras. And we have a voluntary registry. It's on the website, it's on all our social media. You can register your camera just in case something happens in the area, and we can go knock on your door and they will be able to let us download that, to maybe get some evidence to solve that crime. But that's
Okay.
online, and that's the program that has been going on now for a few years.
Yep, thank you, Chief. That's what I said. The more we can get out there to our residents, giving them, they give us the tools, and we, you guys do the work and do the job. We just need to, I think we just need to make people more aware of what's going on, because everybody believes it's a safe town. Everybody wants to believe that, but it's going through the whole state. It's going all over, and we need to just work together and let our residents know. But thank you, Chief.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about the snow plowing. As I always say, there's 145 miles in our township that are DPW, MTUD, and our contractors that we hire to snow plow. And this last one, we were down 4 trucks during the snow plowing. And a lot of times you buy new equipment, but this time around, the computers, the electronics that are in these trucks, and our mechanics don't have the computers to reset these trucks and reprogram them. So they have to wait for a repair to be done. But we had the manpower in other trucks. But I just want to say that MTUD, along with our contractor, K&A, and also along with our DPW, they did 145 miles of roadway with the snow that we just had. It's not easy. And I just wanted to say thank you. And also our director and all our administration that was part of that. Another problem that arose from our last meeting is I've been getting a lot of complaints about the high school drop off and the pickup. And I own a house right next to the high school. Very difficult to try to get in and out during these hours of operation. So I don't know what we can do to help the school board, but I can sure tell you the increase of parents dropping off their students it's multiplying. It's not decreasing, it's multiplying. And sometimes the residents call me and they tell me it takes them, 15, 20 minutes just to get into the parking lot and so on. So I think that's something that we need to look into and work with the school board and before it becomes a bigger problem for all of us. And I had a question about the master plan. Nothing was mentioned about the master plan. Where are we with the master plan?
Weinberg, and then the chief wishes to comment on the transportation issue. So please, Mr. Weinberg, our master plan.
Sure, I'm actually going to turn it over to Joe for that. So whenever you want
goody.
the chief and Joe to go, it's up to you.
I'll just touch
Why don't we
real
let
quick.
the chief answer the question about the high school parking transit issue, and then Mr. Stroin, you will address the master plan, please.
Thank you, Council President.
My pleasure.
As everybody knows, because we've all been in this town for a long time, this has been a problem probably for the last 13 years. We're trying to address it now as it's gotten worse. And as of right now, as of last Friday, I had the meeting with the superintendent, my traffic sergeant, my ex-traffic sergeant, who is now a lieutenant, and with the Board of Ed, not the Board of Ed, with Mr. Teague and with the principal of the high school. And we are currently trying to implement a couple of plans, a couple of strategies, see how that works. If it works, great. If not, we're going to have to address it a certain way. And if all else fails, we're going to have to probably they're going to have to get a traffic study done. And then we'll go from there and we'll see what that results. But as of right now, we're working on it aggressively, so to speak. This morning was the first time that I had police out there. So as of right now, we have one officer stationed out there during this time, but we can have as many as 3 to help alleviate the situation. We don't throw it all out of it at once. You put everybody out there and it'll make the traffic worse by scaring them. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to ease into it to try to get the flow working correctly.
Thank you very much for that
You're welcome.
comprehensive answer. Mr. Stroin.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and excellent question, Councilman DePiero. The draft of the master plan, we've been told by our consultants, will be supposedly in our hands within the next 10 days. That will then be presented to the master plan subcommittee and the individual stakeholder groups, the subject matter experts in the stakeholder group. Once we receive that feedback from those 2 individual groups, the stakeholder group and the master plan subcommittee, we will then make our first presentation to the planning board, obviously with public comment. After that is complete, we will take all of those comments, reincorporate that into the master plan for a final draft in April for the planning board. And then any land use recommendations that are made in April will then be presented at the council's pleasure for their consideration and any changes to the zoning laws.
Do we have any set dates for the public yet?
The public will be obviously commenting on the master plan in both March and April during each one of the presentations to the planning board.
Good, thank you.
And that's in addition to obviously all of the public comment that was done via the website and the survey that had over 85,000 responses and the 3 open houses that we had during the course of the summer.
Super.
Thank you. And thank you, Chief, for your explanation to the high school.
Thank you.
I'm the liaison on the shade tree, and I sent a couple emails out to our attorney in reference. The board was questioning about the awareness of tree permits, and Pam, our secretary, answered it, that she sent it to the HOA management companies and the presidents and all of that. So I just wanted to put basically a shout out to Pam, our secretary, and also to Lou on the response that enforcement needs to be in place if people are cutting down trees without permits. So if anyone sees any of that going on, please notify our zoning office. I think I tried this 3 years ago, and I need some guidance from our attorney on this. I would like to start working on getting a moratorium for our newly paved roads. As our business administrator said, we're going to be spending close to $1.8 million this year. And when you go down a road, there's nothing, especially when I did them for over 30 something years, there's nothing more frustrating when you see a brand new road with a jackhammer going across it. And then as you drive, when you drive and you hit a bump. So, you know, we just did Monmouth Road and there's a few issues down there that got jackhammered out and redone, and sinkholes from water main breaks and so on. But I think we need to set something similar to Manalapan and other towns with moratoriums on newly paved roads. Emergency is one thing, but when someone just decides to jackhammer the road and they want to make an upgrade, I think that our roads are investments that we make for the taxpayers. We need to protect that investment. So I'd like to see something in the near future work on our moratorium on our road improvements. Also, I've noticed at the water tower 615 on Half Acre Road, there was a lot of excavation going on there. We probably had about 6 or 8 MTUD trucks there. Looked like there was some major deep excavation going on. So can I get a response on what was going on there?
Oh, you're smiling, Mr. Strawn, yes?
Yes, if you notice on today's agenda, there's the actual resolution to install a insertion valve. We had 2 valves through our Water Quality Accountability Act that were exercised that are key to being able to isolate that tank for normal operations that we found were in a state of disrepair. So without taking anybody out of service, we're actually going to do an online insertion of a 20-inch gate valve. And what we were doing was exposing the line and then putting insulating blankets on it today so that everything is ready for the contractor to do that insertion on Wednesday morning.
So is that work being done in-house?
The work to obviously excavate it, and then we're actually going to form and pour concrete around the valve. That's being done in-house, all in-house. The only thing, because obviously it takes specialized equipment, the only thing that's actually going to be done by a contractor is the actual valve insertion itself.
Well, I want to thank you and the staff, because keeping everybody online is our priority, your priority. And I want to thank you guys, and also for doing the work in-house. That definitely saves us a lot of money, a lot of effort, and just thank the staff for that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. To our engineer, Route 33 Sports, Farrington. There's some low areas in the blacktop. I hit a few puddles last night along the pavement that's not making it to the basins. I know it's a county road. I know they do have county bonds, but we need to address to the county that there are definitely some low areas and holding some water on the shoulder. So I just wanted to point that out as well. And then my last, Vice Council Snyder and I, we went to a nice event for Eagle Scout, and unfortunately there was 2 of them at the same time, and we both and Council Vice Chair, she shines at these things. This is where she really feels at home. You know, people look for her to come that are all in the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and I just want to say a shout out to Russell Fagan. He is a class act of a beautiful young man that has a big, bright future, and his family worked very hard to get him where he was. The stories that we heard were absolutely amazing. Even had Santa Claus when he was a little kid show up and gave us incredible stories about him and his family. But I just wanted to thank the opportunity to go in there, and also to let you know that Betty Snyder and we had a good time there, and it was really nice.
I'm
So,
sure
thank you.
Councilwoman Schneider was delighted to share that with you. Going to Eagle Scouting is one of her favorite things to do. So I thank you for that. Mr. Razumowitz, yes, you had your hand up just a moment.
Thank you,
ago.
Council President. Just Councilman DePiero, just to clarify, the concerns were on Prineville Road near Farrington, or did you have concerns on Farrington as well?
No, I didn't go on Farrington, but I just
Right.
on Prineville. It's across from Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
You'll see various puddles.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Council Vice President Van Zura, it is your turn at this moment.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be short tonight.
I don't know.
Well, compared to Councilman DePiero, I'll be sure. Just kidding, but I do have a tendency to go on. I do understand that, but I want to commend our administration on a few things. First, the refinancing. Saving up to $700,000. That just doesn't happen by itself. It's a product of good administration at looking at things and taking an affirmative approach to see where and when we could save money. And that's one of the things that they do, and saved a lot of money last year, a couple of million, and more money this year. So I'd like to commend Alan and whoever else worked on that project. Also, in that same regard, we're going to have a lot of roadway improvements, a good amount of which are partially funded by state grants, which are the grants that, where we don't have to pay the money back. So again, we're doing good things for the town without it costing the town any money. So those are good. We do need the improvements to the different parks that are being worked on. I'm glad to see that that's in the pipeline. And the other thing that they're also working on is the installation work for the BFI. And that's something, about 6 to 9 months ago, we were having a lot of problems. The mayor came in, took the bull by the horns, and decided we're going to do what we got to do to help the people over here in the 3rd Ward, so that they don't have to deal with that terrible smell. And now we're finally at a point where construction will begin, and hopefully that'll ease the problem for them. But I commend the administration on taking these steps affirmatively to help get things moving. I do want to congratulate the Applegarth Volunteer Engine Company #1, celebrating their 55th anniversary this year, which is quite an accomplishment. And I also wanted to mention, I also thought that our whole team with the DPW and the MTUD and our contractors did a great job on the snow. I know there's always going to be some people complain, you have all those miles and somebody's got to be first, somebody's got to be last. But as I understand, we had like 25 plows going at once, and it was almost like a nonstop thing. Alan coordinated it very well. And, the problem was not just that we had 9 inches of snow, but the snow was ongoing. It lasted almost the whole day Saturday. And it was really, really cold. So the snow wasn't like hitting the ground and melting once you pushed it away. It was very windy. And for a large part of the time, the snow would tend to blow back. So all things considered, I think they did a pretty decent job. Let's put it that way. And the last thing I just want to say, a little personal note. I am a part of the Rec Advisory Committee, but just want to single out one thing, because I've been going for the last month or so to the Friday night basketball games at the rec center and some of the other nights. And it brought back memories, because I used to coach those rec teams way back when. And, I go in there and the kids really enjoy it. They're not the varsity players per se. There may not be necessarily the best players in town, but they get out, they run around, they have a good time. They got 3 games a night going, most of the times when I'm there. And the funny thing is, the same ref, I think it's Ref Joe that's been there for probably 20 years at least, does a great job, and everybody has a nice time. So I just want to throw a shout out to them, and thank you, everyone. And that's my report.
Thank you so much. You were right. You were really brief. My, oh my. Since everyone I know thinks I talk too much, I am going to take this moment to also try not to talk too much, but to tell you, like everyone else, like all of my colleagues, I am very grateful to the staff of our town that got our roads cleaned so effectively and efficiently. I'm always grateful for the updates I get that make sure that I know what is going on, because people do call. So I'm grateful for the level of communication that we have. And that is a wonderful thing. We live in a really nice town, and we do live in a safe town. It's unfortunate when incidents happen that are not, but the rapid response of our police department helps assure that we remain living in a safe town. So I would like to say thank you for that. I would be remiss. I did attend the last Cultural Arts Committee meeting, and there is a virtual tour of the Barnes Museum coming up. Please go to the website and look to see that information. It is a Modigliani exhibit, and it should be very wonderful to see. Then it will be followed up by, one hopes, something that is a visit that is in person. The Cultural Arts website has been updated. There is a good deal of information regarding the programs that are there, and including they're doing a program in cooperation with the library, something around ice sculpting, and that sounds like it could be a lot of fun and interesting to do. I myself am waiting for March 13th when we will get daylight savings time, because I also think that that will be a lot of fun. But meanwhile, there are a great number of activities that are going on, and please look at the Cultural Arts website to see some of them. It is fun to watch. It is an enhanced, and I do not know if you all know that one of the members of the Cultural Arts Committee has her work. Nancy Dunkelman's work is on exhibit again. She is an artist by profession, and seeing an art show with her work is truly a very nice opportunity for all of us. We are availed of some very talented people who keep us on top of the heap when we go to look for things to do. So thank you all for that. I have the great pleasure now of asking our mayor, Amina, to join us as he sat here.
President, thank you. Thank you again for allowing me to give a report. And I too will be brief, just a couple items. First and foremost, I do want to thank the chief for jumping on the meeting here as well. We've experienced, obviously, it's a scary time for residents with the break-ins. But again, my philosophy is teamwork makes the dream work, and it's a combination of our great citizens of Monroe Township, as well as our crack men and women of our wonderful police force working together. And obviously, deterrence is the biggest theme that we need to get across, and obviously getting the information out in regards to what can we do. So we listen to the professionals. So as the chief has mentioned, there'll be some information. Specifically, there will be a presentation about the do's and don'ts, and obviously the don'ts of leaving your keys in your car. We all like to pine back to maybe the good old days when you could leave your door unlocked and all that other stuff, but those are the stories of your grandparents. We all know we live in a different world now, a very serious world, a very scary world. So let's listen to our professionals, and obviously we can do the right thing by working together. Also of note, which was mentioned about working together, I was approached by a few citizens as well as some member of the Board of Education in regards to the traffic that, if you've gone past any school in any part of New Jersey, you're dealing with just an overabundance of cars. Parents don't like putting their kids on the bus during the pandemic. With the snowstorms and the cold, we're seeing a lot of more drop-offs. So therefore, you're seeing a lot more cars and activity. So hopefully, working together with the school staff, the administration there, the Board of Education, and our police, is let's address the issues now, but also let's work together, move forward, get a report, and then again, let's address what we're doing now and down the road. And I think it's the right thing. Want to talk about Mother Nature and obviously the snow and the cold, and our response. Our DPW and our MTUD workers do a great job. Right before each storm, I reach out to the powers that be within the department. I let them know that we're thinking about them. I also remind them what my address is, just to make sure they can cover my address a couple times. So, but again, for the amount of roads that we have, I think we do a great job. Obviously, there's going to be some times where some snow gets thrown in driveways, and maybe the snow it's a colder road and the snow will stick around a little bit longer. But again, I can't thank everybody enough, especially all of those who go out during the shift work, and they work hard for all the residents. Sticking with nature, I want to report that the one of 3 bald eagles born in the county, one of them resides here in the great township of Monroe Township. So we're seeing that activity in Monroe. I think it's kind of nifty, and I'll be putting out some more information in regards to the wonders of nature of having a baby bald eagle here in our town. Speaking of nature, when nature calls, I'm happy to see the bathrooms. How you like that? That
was
quite
good.
a bit.
That was good.
Good segue.
Oh, that
Yes,
was good.
I tell you, they don't pay me enough for those.
Listen,
Listen, I love bathrooms, right? And rest stations, especially here at Avenue K, right down the road from me, where we don't have one. But more importantly is the one at James Monroe Park, which, having, been there for many, many years ago, and just kind of seeing, what shape it's in, it was about time that we move forward with that. So I was very pleased to have that. Sticking with the rec department, I'm done with the Mother Nature jokes and the nature. Again, happy to see, again, moving forward with new bleachers at our community center. Terry, boy, going to those basketball games, you're going to get sucked into coaching one of those, I'm sure, at some point. Wanted to also, in the beginning of the meeting, we talked about proclamations. Obviously, I just wanted to bring the light 2 special ones in particular. Saturday was the St. James Knights of Columbus, number 6336, their 50th anniversary. So congratulations. And the service to the community that you provide. And to Justine Gribben, 103 birthday, 103 years old. Obviously coming up on February 12th, I'll be stopping by next week to provide a proclamation to her and wish her a great birthday. And obviously, what's the secret? Last week, I was pleased to present SEWA International Central Jersey Presidential Volunteer Service Awards. Congrats to those amazing young men and women and all that they do for the community. I was just so impressed. And, it was weird, like as I'm giving them their proclamation, every single one was just so polite and thank you. I'm like, well, no, thank you. So it was just a great event to attend. And when you see the youth of Monroe Township stepping up like that, that's something very, very special. And I just kind of would like to finish with a COVID thought here. I'm not superstitious, I'm maybe a little stitious. All right, I think I'm going to say it right here. I think we're slowing up. We're heading in the right direction. What we experienced here in Monroe Township with COVID, obviously, all of the help that the residents provided each other through the vaccine and the testing, keeping everything open. I'm excited. I'm excited about moving forward and seeing those numbers drop. And I'm just hopeful that we can get back to that normal that we all strive for, crave. And with that being said, thank you for allowing me to report. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us. We're always delighted to have you here. That concludes the individual reports and the council's reports. I would like to request a motion to open us for public comments. Please, a motion.
So
Thank
moved.
you, Councilwoman Schneider. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. DePiero.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Remember, folks, it's 5 minutes per speaker. May we? Please
Council
begin.
President, I have the first hand up is Tim Esso.
Yes. Mr. Esso is not on my screen yet. I'm assuming he's getting there.
Shortly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can now, sir. Please, your name and address for the record.
Tim Esso, 2 Allison Court.
Yes, sir.
First one, I want to commend through the chair, Mayor Delina, and his staff in the snowstorm. All the public safety personnel. I'm sure it's difficult being one out in a snowstorm like that. It's very difficult to travel through that stuff. The road department, or I should say the public works department, for clearing the roads. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I've called and just said how pleased I was with the way my street was done and the streets in my surrounding development were done. So hats off to our public workers for just doing a wonderful job on clearing the streets. I do have a question for the Historic Preservation Committee headed by Councilwoman Siegel. Who chairs that committee now? Who runs that committee, or who is there anybody else involved in that?
Mr. Esso, before the question, Councilwoman Siegel is the council liaison to that committee. She is not the chair of that committee.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, Mr. Weinberg, could you list who is the chairperson? Susan
Rudy.
Susan Rudy is the chairperson of that committee. And if historic preservation interests you, there is an application on the website that you can download and complete it, but it is about a half a dozen of our citizens.
No, actually, that committee does not interest me, but thank you very much for.
Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome, sir.
For giving me that. I appreciate that, Mayor Cohen. I'll certainly be in touch with that
You're
one.
welcome.
Okay, through the chair as well. We have response time. Being a career firefighter, response time is so very important to all of our residents in Edison, as well as I'm sure Monroe and elsewhere. Getting to a situation such as what we had last week with one of the residents, actually a good friend of mine, it told me the response time wasn't really what they wanted. Now, we have some wonderful police officers here in Monroe Township. All of our public safety personnel are wonderful people, and they do their best to protect our town. But response time is imperative to anything as scary as it was to the resident. My question is, the response time to that particular resident that got their home broken into, do we have the number on that? Do we have a time? Instead of swift and as possible, swift as safe as possible?
Swiftly and yes, as swiftly and as safely as possible. And which call are you talking about, sir?
I believe it's Avenue K. I'd rather not say the resident's name.
I'm not looking for the residents. Do you have the call number?
The what? No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
If they have a complaint, they can call and they can.
No. I was just asking. No one's complaining there, Chief. We're just asking about the response time. Okay?
Sounds like a complaint.
Well, Mr. Esso.
You freeze
I
my
will go on
time
to repeat
until
what the
the
chief
chief has
said.
allowed me to speak.
The resident is certainly able to call the police and speak directly with them regarding. the
My
situation
question
that
is, Ms.
occurred.
Cohen, Madam President, is,
Yes, sir.
like I said, our police department we have wonderful police officers
Yes, we do.
in our police department. They're great young men and women who are protecting us every day, along with our firefighters and our EMS workers. I'm not jabbing anybody here. I'm just
Okay.
asking, is there a response time? What was the response time to that particular call? Well, I should say, will that be available?
Council President, if I may.
Yes, yes, chief.
Again, Mr. Esso, it's as swiftly and safely as possible. An officer is no good if they get into an accident heading to a call. So as swiftly and safely as they can get there is what we expect of them. To get a particular on that call, I don't know. I'd have to check and see if that could be released.
Yeah, Chief,
but-
maybe you're misunderstanding my question. I guess I'll put it to you this way. There is a response time noted on the police report, correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I just gave you the question in the wrong way, but just to reiterate that, I'm very proud to be a Monroe resident and have such wonderful police officers and EMS and fire
Thank
department
you for that,
personnel
sir. Thank you.
protect our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have another question, please?
The next person's hand up is, you're picking off the top, correct? It says Bill and Ellen Shoesman.
Yes, I don't see the, yes, it's the name.
Just
Yes,
have to-
that's
Sir,
correct.
your
Can you hear
name
me?
and address for the record, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Your name
my
and
name is
address
Bill
for the record,
Shoesman.
please.
Bill Shoesman, 17 Whistling Straits Drive. We're in the Monroe, in the Regency development, the newest
Yes.
section on 613. All of my comments and questions deal with the intersection of Whistling Straits Drive and Route 613. And before I go into them specifically, I'd like to thank Business Administrator Weinberg for his very responsive comments to me on any number of occasions concerning my issues. Also, Councilperson DiPiero also been very helpful. And I want to also thank the mayor, as I understand has recently had some conversations with JCP&L about some of my concerns. My concerns really fall into two categories. One has to do with lighting at that intersection, and the other has to do with the physical makeup at that intersection. As to the lighting, as I understand it, the mayor has had some conversations with JCP&L, and there will be an additional street lamp on that intersection which is needed. And there have been some discussions, as I understand it, with 2 lights, overhead street lamps that have been out in our little section for quite a long period of time. For some reason or other, I don't understand why those 2 lights haven't been fixed. I mean, all of the hardware is there and it's just not working. But again, those seem to be moving along. As I understand it, the street lamp on the intersection itself is scheduled to be worked on within the next couple of weeks. But the other concern that I have has to do with the physical layout of that intersection. For any of you who have gone past there, there are 4 islands leading into Whistling Straits. One that is very close to Route 613. Then there are 2 that have some vegetation on it, one containing the gate. And then there's another one further into the development, pretty much at the intersection of Interlochen and Whistling Straits. The first and the fourth islands, first being the one on 613 and the last being the one on Interlochen, seemingly create more hazardous conditions rather than safety conditions. Both of those islands have no vertical, what's the right word? Vertical things there, so you can't see them. And especially like we had the snow in the last 2 weeks, you can't see them as you're driving in. They are islands that are, the one on 613 is 6 inches high. The one in Interlochen is just have, Belgian block, which, lead you up onto the island. The furthest island, the one in Interlochen, has created such problems that when trucks are leaving Interlochen and try to make the turn to get out of the community, they hit the light pole that's there. That's one of the light poles, by the way, that's out. Really, I don't understand the reason for it being there. The one at 613, as I say, creates more of a hazard than anything else. You can't see it. It's protruding further out into the street, more so than the other two roads that come out of Regency into 613. And again, I don't see any reason why it is there. I understand, I've spoken with the township administrator, whose last name I can't pronounce, unfortunately, been very helpful, and business administrator Weinberg, that these are items that are under discussion with the developer, Toll, perhaps the HOA, I don't know, but it seems to me it's something more that Toll would be involved with. And I would just implore the town and to take a harder look at this. These islands are really safety problems. If you look at the one on 613, you can already see the curbs are already chipped because the cars have been running over it. And there are also a whole bunch of tire tracks going over it. You just simply can't see them. So I would implore whatever work can be done to take another look at that, perhaps re-engineer it if need be, and get rid of those two islands. They're really a problem for us and anybody coming in. And again, I want to thank people that I mentioned earlier for the cooperation and their interest in these issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shusman. Our engineer, Mr. Razumowitz, wishes to make a comment now, please.
Thank you, Council President. I did speak with Mr. Shusman about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, regarding all these matters as well. The light at the intersection was ordered from JCP&L back in October, November. I spoke to them again 2 weeks ago. They were gearing up to do the install the light, and then we had the snowstorm. So I think we're about another week or two out for that. The lighting within the community, that the lights are out, they're under Toll Brothers' responsibility. They had replaced bulbs on, I believe, 5 or 6 lights that were done. Apparently 2 of them did not get done, or there's more of an issue with them. We've notified Toll to get those 2 lights fixed that are inside. With regard to the islands, this project, went through the planning board. It was approved. We had done some modifications to the entranceway prior to construction. I believe the homeowner association was involved with that as well. Right now, I'm working with Toll Brothers and the HOA to modify the islands, particularly the first island and the fourth island that Mr. Shusman has brought up. Looking at eliminating those. However, that also has to get approved by the HOA as well as the county once we get a plan in place. And Toll Brothers at this point is working on that plan.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shusman. And I am sure you will be apprised as these things occur, and certainly, from the township, you will continue to get as good a response as you've gotten, and your homeowners association as well. So we thank you.
Thank you.
We have any other questions, please?
Council President, I have Gail DePoli.
Please. Would you please unmute yourself and give us your name and address for our record? You need to unmute, ma'am. There you go. You're unmuted. Your name and address for our record, please.
Do you hear me okay?
Yes, please. Your name and address for the record.
Yeah, I don't know why Gail DePoli came up. My name is George Rothweiler. I live at 12 Interlocking Court in Phase 10 of the Monroe at Regency. We consist of Interlocking and Whistling Straits, and we only have one way in and one way out onto 613. And my concern is this safety part of 613. As you go up and down 613, one lane up, one lane back. However, from Whistling Straits down to Buckaloo, they have a third lane in the center, which encompasses a lot of arrows to let you know whether you're going to turn into the Havanian property or our property. It's very dark. As you proceed up 613 to Country Club Drive and Championship Boulevard, or Parkway rather, we do have lights on each corner. In addition, there is a telephone pole that has, I guess, the county lights up there, and it's like 6 of them all along 613. But like I said before, from Whistling Station to Buckaloo, it's very dark. And we really could use some additional lighting there because it's, with all the young kids over at the Vaney property, it could be a safety concern. It is very dark. I don't know if anybody on the council is aware how dark it is, but I would strongly recommend someone looking into possibly adding telephone pole lights just to illuminate that area a little bit better.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Razamoas, please.
Council President, yes, we'll take a look at that. The one light that we were talking before was at the intersection of 613 and Whistling Straits, but I'll look at the area from that intersection down to Buccalo to see about getting additional street lighting.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate
You're
it.
most welcome. Thank you for your time. We have someone else waiting to speak with us.
Yes, Council President, we have Prakash Parab.
Dr. Parab. Please unmute. You need to unmute Dr. Parab, please.
Unmuted now. Can
There
hear-
you are.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying for my computer. Thank you very much, President Cohen. Regarding, I'm happy to see that many of the council members who sit on the committees are giving updates. We do appreciate, we don't go to all the committees. So, you know, what you all are doing, we do appreciate that. We take notes and present it to our community. So that's good. Regarding the master plan, President Cohen, I have a question. Thanks that the presentation to the planning board in March and April. When presentation is there to the planning board in March, are we going to show to the public a draft master plan? Yes or not? And if yes, how many days before, so that we can review it and then we can go to the planning board prepared to give our positive as well as whatever suggestions. So the question is, how early is the draft will be published to the public before the planning board meeting in March, and how many days before?
Mr. Stroin, is
Stroin.
that?
Thank you, Council President. Dr. Parab, our goal is to have the plan on the website available for review a week prior to the actual planning board meeting.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate. And thank you, Chief, Police Chief. The question is to the Police Chief, but Madam President, this question in general, you can direct to anyone. You know, it is good you gave an update. It is a big concern to me also. The community leaves the keys in the car. How many times we tell them? From last 3 years, we are telling them, don't leave the keys in the car. Still the habit don't go away. Now, this is just a suggestion. If when police patrol is going on, just go randomly and see how many keys are left. And warn to those residents, guys, why you are leaving the keys? You know, we have to do that. I don't know whether we can give them some fine, you know, I'm not suggesting, but this is the way we have to point to them. So think over it, Police Chief. You know, if you want to volunteer, I'll come and volunteer and check with you guys, okay? But this habit has to be broken, okay? These are my comments. Another one, you know, another one thing is the fourth one, okay? The COVID, month of January, it was very horrible, very horrible. On January 7th, we had a peak of 33,000 cases that day. And today is February 7th, we are heading lower than 2,000. We had percent positivity of 25%, and today it is 6.7.
6.7.
And rate of transmission was 1.95. Today it is 0.52. But I look at daily hospitalization, death, and how many people are ever hospitalized. The deaths are increasing now. They reached the peak, hope they are coming down. But Hospitalization is across from the infants to all across the age groups. And today, the commissioner said that 7 children, this is a very severe condition, inflammatory condition in infants and children, and 5 children are in hospital. We are not seeing such numbers with Delta. I know that we are removing the mask and all, but please still take precautions because hospitalization is across the places everywhere, and it is a big concern. So we are removing the mask, but again, be precautious. Take precautions is my request to our community. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else waiting to speak with us now, please? Please unmute. Ms. Panos.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, and I must request your name and address for our record again, please.
Panos, 1208 Sealandero Plaza.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. My question also has to do with the master plan. I understand that it'll be on the website prior to the planning board so the residents can preview. However, will there be a copy at the library? They should be. And I would suggest that because not everybody has a computer or knows how to read one. Is the public allowed to go to a master plan subcommittee meeting? That would be, I guess, my second question. And do they get input, written input and recommendations from the people, our volunteers in town on the Environmental Commission, the ADA Commission, the school, the school boards? Is there written recommendations from that? I understand we have the greatest engineers working on this. However, talking to the people who actually live here and know.
I'm going to ask Mr. Stroin to comment on, unless you would prefer to, Mr. Weinberg, to again comment on all of the number of public hearings and the public input in the survey.
No, I was part of that.
I'm just
That's a good question,
clarifying.
Council President.
So, Mr. Stroin, would you like to comment on the places where it will be? Or Mr. Weinberg, or Master Plan Subcommittee Chair, Council Vice President Van Zura? A lot of options here tonight, folks. Take your pick. Who wishes?
I'll go first, Council
thank
President.
you for that.
In addition to obviously the website, it's standard that there will be a copy at the municipal building in the Planning and Zoning Department. And we will also endeavor to make a copy available at the library as well.
Thank you very much. Mr. Weinberg,
I would just add that, on the, the chairwoman of the Environmental Commission is on the Master Plan Subcommittee, some of the planning board members, and also for the first time ever that I know of, there's a stakeholders committee too that's going to give feedback in addition to that. And then of course, public feedback itself. So I think there's a lot of eyeballs on it and a lot of input that went into it, and even more that will be looking at it as well.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Van Zura, are you okay with what was said?
Hi, Madam President. Yes, no, I concur in all that. Yeah, the subcommittees for the subcommittee, the stakeholders is the stakeholders. And then the public also has their opportunity to be heard at the other events. And anybody that wants to be heard, and as long as I have anything to do with it, will have the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you very much.
I'd invite Ms. Panos to come and share that information with anyone else you think might be interested too. So we invited, this is to get everyone involved. We want everyone involved. That's always been the goal from the start. So,
thank you so very much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have a distraction in the room.
Hello? Okay, I understand all the pre-presentation.
I'm sorry, I have lost hearing you. Would you, again, I'm sorry, you had an additional comment?
Yes, certainly if we're allowed to come to a subcommittee meeting, that's most generous of you. And I'll maybe reach out and find out when that is. The other thing is, the other thing is the assessment on on property. I know the dollar went down, per $100, but I looked at my assessment, but my assessment went up. Was there an assessment in
I
town?
apologize.
Was there a reassessment, a local
Mr.
reassessment?
Weinberg, yes, please.
Yeah, we did not have a reassessment. You're welcome to call the assessor's office. So I'm not aware of any assessment unless you did an addition or some sort of improvement to your house, but you're welcome to call the assessor's office and they'll be happy to compare last year and this year.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night now. Thank you. Is anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Yes, Council President, I have Lauren DePiero.
Yes, please. I have a dog.
Oh, that's cute.
Very cute.
Hi, how are you? I'm Lauren DePiero, 225 Fernhead Avenue.
Yes.
How are you guys doing?
Good, how are
We're
you?
doing well, thank you. And you?
Good. Thank you guys for your time. I just wanted to thank the Monroe Township Police Department for responding to the break-ins and keeping us informed. I actually found out from the social media posts, and I think it's really important to keep up with the social media posts because I think for the younger generations, that's how we're being informed by everything. So whether it's good or bad, to just keep up with the posts on social media. So just going back all the way to June, I was just looking on Instagram. You guys have 1,500 followers, which is like, I think it's pretty good. And you average about 6 posts a month. So whether it's keeping up with good posts or bad posts, right? So whether it's like break-ins or posting about lemonade stands or doing bike runs or anything like that. Coming from a teacher standpoint, we always sandwich it. So we always do like a good thing and then a bad thing, right? So coming up from a break-in, right, you can always say, give like something else that they can do. Give them like a tip. So I think giving the community a tip, because I know we don't want to scare the township, but we know that it's happening all over the community and all over New Jersey. So give tips that can keep us safe. But also,
Thank you. Mr. Pirro, you have exceeding your time, so would you just complete your sentence?
No,
Thank you.
that was 5 minutes.
That was 5. Oh, I misheard the buzzer.
That
Keep
was a
talking.
different, so that was a different chime.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I heard a different buzzer in my ear. Look,
Give
let
her
me
time.
finish. I apologize.
Okay, I'll go really. Okay,
But
I'll go
cookies
really
were
quick.
ready.
No.
Sorry.
Going with like keeping us informed, but also giving a tip as well, because blinding us to it
What was
is
that
not
noise?
good as well, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Also, I want to make another point, volunteer cleanups, because I know we did those in the past, but bringing those back now that we're coming into the spring, I think start heading out and putting up some information to the public is really good. And I think putting out some Google Sheets for signups, just so we can get some emails out there. And so people can start signing up for those in different areas. And maybe we can do that in different areas of the town. So if we wanted to start doing it by the rec center, over by the football fields, and just start going all the way across town towards the Apple Garden side as well, and start opening it up so maybe people can sign up as well in different dates. So we can start having dates go across all of the like from spring to the summer, if that makes sense.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
now. We have anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Yes, Council President, I have Gary Ramella.
Would you unmute Mr. Marmella? Thank you. And would you give us your name and address for our record, please?
Sure, it's Gary Ramella, 14 Whistling Straits Drive.
Yes.
My question is, what would be the status of the release of performance guarantees furnished by Toll Brothers regarding the final phases and their exit from Regency at Monroe? Is there, or will there be public discussions and public input before the release of any guarantee monies?
So there's a statute that deals with the issue of release of performance guarantees. And remember, those performance guarantees are only for whatever items were actually bondable items. So we call them. Typically what happens is that there is a request and then a review by the engineering department, and then the release becomes subject to a resolution that's on a council meeting agenda. And yes, there's public input at the workshop portion of a council meeting before we adopt a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Reno.
Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you.
You
Thank
are
you very
most
much.
welcome.
Council President?
Yes,
I
Mr.
was
Lazaronis.
just going to add to that, if, if Mr. Ramella had some additional questions regarding performance bonds and performance bond releases, he can contact my office and I'd be happy to speak with him at the
Thank you
engineer's
very much.
office.
Thank you. I'm sure you heard that, Mr. Mello. You must still be on the line, so thank you. Our next questioner is
Chrissy
Chrissy
Skirby.
Skirby, please, your name and address for our record.
Yes, hi, good evening. Chrissy Skirby, 21 Preakness Drive. I just had a question. I was looking at the list of resolutions, and there is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Miracle Chemical Company for a sodium hypochlorite solution
Correct.
units. Each unit is estimated at 47,500. How many units is the township purchasing?
Mr. Strine. Or Mr. Weinberg, I am sorry.
Oh, I'll defer to Mr. Strine.
Yes, my apologies, Mr. Weinberg.
Excuse me, Ms. Skirby, what was the question again? I just wanted
How
to.
much are we purchasing?
How many units of the sodium hypochlorite solution machines are you purchasing?
We're not purchasing any sodium hypochlorite machines. We're actually purchasing bulk sodium hypochlorite. And it's the primary disinfectant used in our water distribution system. And we add it based again on the volume that goes through each well. We have a totally, supplied groundwater system throughout the town, 8 wells, and we usually feed at a rate that is between 0.75 and 1 part per million.
Oh, okay. So the price per unit is the bulk purchase of that sodium hypochlorite?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Mr.
And again, that would vary the amount that we actually purchase. That's just basic data. It totally depends upon the volume of water that's utilized on an annual basis throughout the town.
Okay, thank you. And on behalf of the Board of Education, as the Board of Ed President, I would like to thank Chief Bianis for meeting with the district administration and really to the mayor and council for, taking the traffic issues that the schools are facing seriously. So thank you for your efforts with that. And just something I know that Lauren DePiero just spoke about, like the positives after something bad happens. One thing that I've learned, unfortunately, as a resident, is that thieves do go around looking for cars to be unlocked, to steal contents of, and unfortunately, one of the families that did have the intruder into their house was because of a garage door opener in their car, not necessarily a key. So one thing that maybe could have some public awareness around, a lot of the newer car models, if your car is unlocked, your mirrors, your side mirrors fold in if they're locked, and if it's unlocked, they stay out. And we had the unfortunate issue of having our car burglarized. And what the officer said to us was, it's very easy for them to drive down a street and see which cars are unlocked by knowing if your side windows are open, that your car is unlocked. So that might be, a safety tip that we might want to share with the community. It's little things like that residents don't know that could help everybody. So I just thought I would share that. But again, on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for recognizing the board members as part of January's Board Recognition Month. We appreciate that as well.
You're
So
most
thank you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have another,
Yes, Council President, I have Frank.
okay.
It just says Frank.
Unmute.
You're
Good evening. How you
unmuted,
doing,
and
Frank?
may I have your name and address for our record, please?
Hi, Ms. Cohen. Frank Steinhauser, 19 Oliver Street, Mill Lake,
Yes,
Manor,
Mr.
Monroe Township.
Steinhauser.
Good evening to everybody. Two issues. Number one, to Chief Bianis, you're absolutely right. I was on the job for many a year in Jersey City, and the motto was always arrive alive. That's when you can do your best work as a police officer. I understand everybody wants the cops there right away, but they get there as quickly as they can. And I know in Mill Lake, we've seen an uptick in police presence, and we all appreciate it. One of the main reasons why I'm talking is it's come to my attention that our first aid squad has really been stretched thin in, I guess you would want to call it, mutual aid calls to neighboring communities, going out and rendering assistance to people that need help from an ambulance. Especially now with the Jamesburg first aid squad being disbanded, their equipment laying useless in a yard somewhere, I guess, at their old headquarters. I fear that our residents are going to be put at unnecessary risk because of this dilemma. And I certainly hope that the town, the mayor, and whatever committees are look into this strongly and maybe come to an adequate solution, maybe merge with Jamesburg, maybe take over their equipment, refurbish it, get more volunteers active so that we can provide adequate mutual aid services to as many people as we can without putting our own citizens at risk. And the last thing I just wanted to mention, maybe the mayor can have, I know I saw the BOE president was on earlier. I saw that the governor today lifted the mandate statewide for masking in schools for our students, which is a big win for the kids. My understanding is I know it's early in the process, is that our BOE is leaning towards keeping the mask mandate in place. I would certainly hope strong and long discussion can be held over this. And hopefully, at the very least, it becomes a choice of whether a child wears a mask to school or not, leaving it up to the parents. But I certainly hope with the mayor and the council and the Board of Education get together and come to a reasonable conclusion on this. But like I said, the overriding issue for me is this first aid dilemma. And love to hear what anybody has to say.
Mr. Weinberg, please address this.
Well, and that's a great point, Mr. Steinhauser. I appreciate you bringing it up. We are certainly aware of it, and it's something I do talk about frequently with our EMS leadership, but we do prioritize our residents first. We do hold trucks in the town to make sure that we can cover our own town, but we do mutual aid when we can, and when we can be helpful. Of course, we do that, but we do hold trucks back. When we do mutual aid in other towns, we do balance bill. Since, our ambulance force is, paid for by our taxpayers, we don't balance bill in town, but we do balance bill if we do a mutual aid called outside of town, whether that be Jamesburg or Manalapan or wherever. But we're very conscious to make sure that we're able to protect our residents as well. So appreciate the point.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steinhauser. Do we have anyone else waiting to speak with us now?
Council President, I do not see any hands up at this time.
May I have entertain a motion to
Make
close
a
the
motion.
public portion? Thank you.
Second.
And seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Hearing none, I'm going to request that the public hearing comment section is now closed. And may I have a motion to adjourn the council meeting, please?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
It is now seconded.
Time is 8:30.
The time is 8:30 p.m.
We are
Consent
adjourned.
to the council. We are adjourned
We are
for
adjourned.
this evening. I thank you all for your time and your skill.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Everyone.
Good seeing you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.